won the nation. Yeah, like that. He was on the best of that. You know what I'm saying? Take down wrestling and boxing, all that shit like that.
Them boys gonna rumble. The Tower Inferno, baby.
Oh, man.
This gonna be the fight of the night. We're in Carson, California. Them boys coming out swinging. You with the one and only boxing guru. For this episode, we're gonna focus in on the big fight that's going down April 9th in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the PBC side. You have Erickson Lubin versus Sebastian Fundora. This is definitely going to be a great fight, a fan-friendly fight. This is probably going to be one of PBC's fights of the year because based on both of their style, this is definitely going to be a good rock'em sock'em type fight. Even though Sebastian Fundora is 6'7", he reminds me of whatever his nationality is, as a Paul the Punisher Williams. Give a shout out to Paul. It was a shame how his career came to an end. But Sebastian is definitely remind me of that. He throws a lot of punches. He usually don't use his height to as his advantage like Paul used to do. They like to get in there and brawl and make it a dog fight when they don't have to. In my opinion, if he does this against Lubin, he will make it for an easy night for Lubin because Lubin definitely can punch. Even though the nickname they gave him, Sludgehammer, he has a sledgehammer in his left hand and a jackhammer in the right hand. So it definitely will make it easy against for Lubin that night to be victorious if Sebastian fight that style of fight. In my opinion, Sebastian definitely has to work behind a long jab if he want to be victorious in the fight against Lubin, because it will offset Lubin because he will have to come forward, and then Sebastian can hit him with, the high punch rate that he usually does with his fighters, against his fighters. Like he did against the fight he had, his last fight, I think it was against Cotto. That was a tough fight for Sebastian. Usually Sebastian overwhelmed his opponents, but Cotto was 33-4, I think. He was a highly ranked opponent. So it brought out a different style of fighting for Sebastian. And it was an inside dog fight for Sebastian. And Lubin hit harder, in my opinion, than Cotto. So that would make a huge mistake for Sebastian if he does that against Lubin, because the whole fight went the distance. I was so used to Sebastian, overwhelming his opponents, getting them out, and that fight went the whole 10, 12 rounds. We was in L.A. It was under I think Tank Davis card when he fought in L.A. against Pitbull Cruz. So definitely Sebastian definitely has to work on his skills as far as boxing on the outside, using his height, and then coming in the inside where he can control the punches when he wants to, and then it can make it difficult for Lubin to walk in without getting landing punches, because Sebastian will be scoring points as the fight goes on. So that's going to be the key. Is Sebastian going to bring out victory? In my opinion, can he change from what he's typically known to do, as far as coming forward, smothering his height and range, and just making it a dog fight? Because if he does that, I don't think he'll hold up to Lubin punches, because that will just play into Lubin's hands. Because Lubin definitely can punch. He definitely can get the top junior lightweights out of there if they stand in front of him. And with Sebastian being so tall, I think that'd be a recipe for disaster if he stand there and let Lubin bang him to the body and to the head. So those gonna be very tricky key details if Sebastian is definitely going to win this fight. For Lubin, this is a difficult fight if Sebastian uses his jab and stay long. Because, like I said, Lubin is definitely a power puncher. He's still trying to get acclimated to the new transition that Coach Kevin Cunningham is trying to get off on him, as far as teaching him to box a little more and set up more combination punches. So that would be very difficult if Sebastian stays behind a long 80 some, I'm thinking he got an 80 some inch arm reach or whatever. That would be very difficult for Lubin. So Lubin definitely has to hope Sebastian come in as he typically known, giving up his height and just making it a fan-friendly brawl. But in my opinion, if Lubin going to win this fight, if Sebastian doesn't, cooperate far as, giving up his height, Lubin will have to fight like a shell, like a turtle. He had to have like shoulder rolls like James Toney. What I meant by that is because you want to force Sebastian to throw punches. You want to roll your body so you can protect yourself from punches, because Sebastian definitely has long arms. So you definitely want him to open up so you can step in between those long arms and dig into the body and to the head. But Lubin, in my opinion, he gonna have to jab, defensively. What I mean by that is he gonna have to jab to block Sebastian jab, or jab to try to keep Sebastian arms at bay. And he gonna have a tight jab where when he jabs, he can close his arms as a blocking mechanism. So when Sebastian tried to open up, Lubin would be right there to step to him and go to his body, hit him to the head. So it's going to be very key that Lubin use defense tactics to be able to get through and break down the 6'7" Sebastian. So it's going to be very critical to see if Lubin can stay focused and get the job done. See if everything what Coach Kevin Cunningham been teaching him, would that come to play. It's going to be very interesting. Or will Lubin get frustrated fighting a tall octopus as Sebastian is? So it's definitely going to be very critical to see how it is. So these are the words for the one and only boxing guru for this episode. And plus, Lubin has to be careful about the last four fights. He's been getting clipped. I think 4 fights. Rosario hurt him. Terrell Gaucher hurt him. So it's going to be very critical that Lubin protects his chin, because it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a dog fight. This probably going to be a knockdown, drag out type of fight. And I don't believe it's going the distance. This definitely will live up to, in my opinion, like Lubin them said. It's going to be like Hagler versus Tommy Hearns. So, yeah, with the height disparity that Tommy had over Marvis Hagler, and Hagler had to use heart and grit and smartness to chop down and break down Tommy Hearns. So Hammer definitely going to have to use that type of fighting plan, because if he let Dora get comfortable and stay on the outside using that long 80-inch jab, Lubin will lose the fight.
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 Come get it.
get it.